I've let the greenhouse go for a little while because there was just too many other projects that I was doing. But it's still doing well. Here's a little update after we came back from a week out of town. It's doing fine.
606 parts per million, that's not too bad. I just put some nutrients in the water about 2-3 hours ago. I think it was well below that. And I'll show you why. Now, the other thing we got to do is I'm going to check the pH right now. It's one thing I have to do out here is make sure the chemistry stays in balance. Because even though it's an aquaponic system and you just feed the fish, that's not enough because it's a closed system. And if you don't monitor what the salinity is and all those kinds of things, it does get out of hand. Now, according to my handy-dandy little chart, this says the pH is about 7.5. Now that's too high, so I'm going to put a little muriatic acid in there. Now I haven't been paying a lot of attention to the greenhouse lately. I've just had so many other projects to do, so I haven't put anything up on YouTube for quite a while. I think a couple of months, I think. But apologize for that. But let me show you what's happened to the greenhouse. Simply because I've kept systems running, been feeding the fish, I've been monitoring the chemistry, and I really haven't had time to do much else except come out here and pick the food. And I've got tomatoes and beans and cucumbers and something else. Beets, celery. I've been picking those like crazy. Let me show you what has happened to the greenhouse now, because I really haven't been tending it like I should. Okay, if you look down here, this is the fish pond. Let me get out of the wind here. But what we've got here is what they call water lettuce, and I can't remember what that other stuff is right there. It's some kind of a water lily. Yeah, there's a good bunch of it right there. But as you can see, this has taken over. The fish actually survive off of eating this, and this is what really sucks up most of the nutrients from the water, is this stuff right here. So what I do is, I think about every 4 or 5 days, I scoop a whole bunch of this stuff out. See, there's some fish down there. Scoop a whole bunch of this stuff out, and I either put it over here in this compost pile, underneath the table, or I put it here. And I put a bunch in here today. Let's see if I can open it up. There we go. Let's see. So you can see there's a bunch of it in there today. And this composts down pretty well. And let's see. Now let's see what's happened to the grow pipe. Now, see, these grapes keep wanting to come up, so I pulled them out. The beans that I planted here, the yard-long beans, they're still growing. They're having some competition with the weeds that I've let grow here. But they're still doing kind of okay. I picked some off of there this morning. And I've gotten some cantaloupe off of this vine, but as you can see, it's done and it's dying. It's ready to go. Now these are greenhouse cucumbers. And they were really starting to produce, and then they stopped. And all I can figure is that it must be nutrients in the water. Now here's one here that's going. Now we've been out of town for about a week, so this kind of was in limbo. So that one's new. Now if you come over here, now look at the tomatoes. If you remember, I'll show you some pictures, but this pipe ran behind here, and there's a thermostat back in there, and you can hardly see it now, but what's happened is these tomatoes have pretty well bushed out, and they just keep on growing. And every morning I come out here and pick a bunch of these tomatoes. Most of them are cherry tomatoes. Now there's also some Brandywine tomatoes. So you can see some of those right here. They're still green. And let's see if I can see any here that are about ready to be picked. Yeah, there's a Brandywine way back in there. Let me see if I can reach in there and get that one. See, that would have been back in here somewhere. Let's see if I can find it. I know I saw it out there. There we go. Well, I don't know if that's it. Well, there might be one in there. Let's see. I've got a hold of it. Let's see now. There we go. That ain't bad. See if we can see another one in here. Back in here. Well, anyway. Yeah, but you can see that these things have taken over. And they've gotten very bushy and they're growing quite well. Now over here, these are celeries, and I have clipped those down to nothing about a week ago. And as you can see, they're coming back. Planted some beets here, and they're doing well. Planted some onions and a bunch of other things in here, but mostly onions. And they're doing well. And there's an old beet plant right there. And this is some greenhouse cucumbers in here. And as you can see, they don't seem to be doing well. But I don't know. It seems like the latter foliage here is greener than the earlier stuff. So I'm not sure what's wrong with these, but I think it might be nutrients. So I've put some more nutrients in there. Now these tomatoes right here, I don't remember what kind they are, but I didn't plant any of these or any of the other ones. Matter of fact, I didn't plant any of these. Let me get over here a little different angle. And as you can see, these are just taking over here. They're pushing that lamp up out of the way. And if you get back in here, there's the grow pipe. You can see you can't even get to the grow pipe anymore because these tomatoes have bushed out like crazy. And every morning I pick a lot of little tomatoes off of this, and they just produce so much. Half of them go to waste. And so you can see it's coming out the other side too. And here's another cucumber vine that I'm hoping will turn out all right, because I don't see any cucumbers on it yet. And here's one of the grow beds, and as you can see, I threw some starts in here a while ago. Tomato, I just picked off some, pulled something off of one of these tomato plants, and I just stuck it in here to maybe plant it later. And I never did plant it later. So as you can see, what's happened, the whole thing is taken over. Here and this thing here too. So you can see there's tomatoes and tomato plants, and this one here, this one had cucumbers in it, and I pulled them all out because they were spent. And these did really well. These were not greenhouse cucumbers; they were regular cucumbers, and they produced quite well. As you can see, there's a celery plant in there, and I'm not going to go down there, but you can see it's quite easy to see that those are all in the grow beds there. Those tomatoes. It's water. It's a floating raft thing, but look at that. It's just totally taken over. And so even not taking care of a greenhouse does pretty well. So I just wanted to give you a little update what's going on here and what's worked. And it's the middle of September right now, so you can see it is not so hot anymore. And these things are starting to even grow better now. So I've got to start planting. I think I'm going to try to grow another crop of peas. And see if I can clean some of these out. But anyway, that's how it's growing. It's doing quite well. Sorry about not having a video here in such a long time. But anyway, I'll try to do better, and we're going to try some more experiments and see if we can put some information out there that might be useful for some of you guys. Anyway, thanks and happy growing.